And welcome to this week's episode. Today we have Jason on the show. Thank you for coming in, Jason.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
No, our pleasure. Obviously, we're talking about grief today. Something very close to my heart. I see it as a journey of pain and also empowerment in some ways. I believe there is a gift that lies within it. I wondered if you'd like to begin, Jason, by just sharing with the listeners your own journey with grief, and what's the experience that you've had around grief?
They've all been really different, really. In terms of when I was younger, I didn't really know a lot about it. It's just Nan or Grandpa didn't come round anymore. And it's just it's kind of like a child's understanding of grief. And then more recently, I've lost a lot more family members, where I've had a lot more interaction, and I understand life a bit more and how things happen, obviously. And so that comes with it a certain set of expectations. You wish people would live longer than they do, and then that leads you to kind of sit in suffering a little bit. But most recently, it's been my brother, my younger brother, who passed away.
How old was he then, Jason?
So he was 29.
A baby, as I would say.
And we grew up together, so he was kind of a big pillar of my life. And it's still hard. It's very hard.
Definitely. So how did he pass? Was it did he have an illness, or was it what I call a very quick passing, would you say?
My brother struggled with his weight all his life, and eventually that's what ended his life. His body gave up on him, and that was that.
Yeah, so difficult to watch, I'm sure, as well.
That's what I mean when I say grieving for people as well before they even passed.
Yeah.
And it's sort of because at the end of the day, it's the expectation that you want your brother to be out doing things with you, and or if they've got an illness that limits them in some way, it's the expectation of I wish they could do this, or I wish they could do that. And that's where you sit in the suffering and the grief. And it's sort of the same feeling for me, really.
Yeah. So how, when you think back, what was the hardest point for you? Was it that elongated journey of watching him slowly dying through weight issues, as it were, through health issues? Or was it that actual moment of loss? Do you have any recollection of that? What would you say?
I think it's all painful, but in different ways. That shock of suddenly losing him and it being the final. That's it.
And how did that grief, that loss, show up for you in that moment? What was how did you react? Because people respond to loss very differently, don't they? I'm just wondered if you would mind sharing how I see people get very angry. I see people get incredibly depressed or numb. Or how do you, looking back, how do you think you responded to that?
Well, looking back to those sort of first couple of weeks, it was a bit of a blur, really. We had a lot of family come and stay in the house that he lived in, and because myself, my brother and my mum, we all kind of looked together and looked after each other, because my mum's got illnesses as well, so we shared the duty between us, even though he was struggling with a lot with his own health problems. We shared the looking after of our mum. We care a lot about her still. I'm kind of having that same thing with my mum, and watching that deterioration is not easy. And people get older.
Because it is a journey of loss before the actual loss as well, isn't it? And it's a bit like conditions, isn't it, where they've got Alzheimer's particularly, and dementias as well. I think you repeatedly lose that loved one, because you lose the version of them that you knew, and then you have this other person, and then you lose them physically as well.
Yeah.
So do you think it has reshaped you, how you see life or value life? Or
And to go on more, actually, like I had a lot of anger in the beginning. I remember
right,
taking jaws off things and just punching things, and yeah, really kind of a lot of anger and a lot of disappointment with how things had gone.
yeah. And did you get help with that, or was that just something you journeyed through on your own?
Family was a big support. Like we were all
Yeah.
going through it together in our different ways, and that helped, I suppose, that we could, understand each other's grief, and obviously people, friends, close friends who had lost people and understood, and or even if they hadn't, they could empathize what a cornerstone person my brother was for me, and they understood what that would be like for them if they lost their sibling that they grew up with.
Yeah.
Etc.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a bit.
That's okay. That's okay. Just breathe. But was he a big character as well in your world?
He was quite. He kept to himself, and he did the best by the family, and family was very important to him.
A gentle soul.
Yeah.
As we would say. So obviously you talked about, before we started recording, about expectation and that goes with grief. I wondered if you could share your thoughts around how expectation almost, I don't want to say hinders, but certainly impacts how we grieve. What were your thoughts on that?
I just think about the Theodore Roosevelt quote of, expectation is the thief of joy, and that couldn't be more true. I don't think, when we sit in expectation, it's not reality, it's a version of something that we've imagined in our head and how we'd prefer things to be, but that's not always the case. And I believe the soul has a journey before it even comes here. I believe that we choose our path, we choose what we go through, and we choose what we want to experience. I strongly believe that.
Yeah.
Although it's hard, it's only hard then because you forget, when you come into this life, you forget that what's happened. And
definitely. So were you spiritual before the loss, or has the loss kind of awakened you, if you like, to spirituality? Were you already in that space, in that zone?
I've always been interested in history, and I've been on spirit hunts and things like that before, and so I like that kind of. I'm interested in the other side and in life in general. So in that respect, no, I don't think it's heightened my my spirituality for sure.
So are you aware of spirit yourself?
I've sensed stuff before in places, and I get visited by a lot of child spirits because I work with children.
Right. Okay.
So that is, I've had a lot of experiences with tugging of my top and childlike actions and things like that when I've gone into places. And
and you like that? You like that experience? It's not it's threatening or fearful for you. It's kind of tender to me, but yeah,
I wasn't scared. It's kind of like, oh, what's that? You know what I mean? It's like,
So have you felt your brother around you as well?
Yes, he's very kind of mischievous. So he's a light flicker. But when he first passed away, my family were all in the living room.
Yeah.
And there was this washing basket.
Right. Okay.
Came rolling towards my leg and hit my leg.
What wanted you to do the washing today?
Yeah, things like that. And we had a little private joke. One of his voice notes is, "I'll come and get your washing out." And
that's why he chose that. Then that's brilliant. I love how spirits play. Yeah,
it's like that full circle moment of he's watching me, listening to his voice notes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a strange thing, isn't it, to listen to voice notes. I've still got some of my dad's, I must admit.
Yeah.
It's real strange. And I don't know about you, there was a time when I used to phone his phone number before it got cut off to listen to his voicemail message. I don't know if you're guilty of that one as well.
Yeah, I've just got a lot of voice notes that I kind of play through when I'm in that sort of wanting to remember what it sounded like.
Yeah, because we do this. I'm curious. I know you do a lot of singing. Did you sing at his funeral, Jason?
No, I couldn't. I spoke at his funeral, but I just do that. Yeah.
It's hard, isn't it? It's really hard, but it's a good thing to do at the same time. Do you know what I mean? It's incredibly difficult, isn't it? So I take my hat off to you for that.
Yes.
So you were supported by friends and family, which is very fortunate as well in your loss. What would you say? What would be your one message that you would share with anyone listening who perhaps has literally just lost somebody? What do you feel you would share with them now, having walked it so recently yourself?
Been very hard on myself to do grief perfect, you know what I mean, and kind of like walk the journey in the best possible way, because that's what I feel people expect from someone who's like a coach, or you know what I mean, or they've been in that space before. So I did like coaching during lockdown and things like that. I trained as a coach and everything, so that's kind of like the perception I think people want to see of me, if you know what I mean. But at the same time, it's also saying shit to that basically, and and just being a human being first and foremost, and experiencing what you experience, and just allowing everything to come when it comes.
Yeah. And I also think crying. People are funny, aren't they? There's so many people hold back on those tears, and I'm a believer in cry it out, get it out. Do you know what I mean? But that's me. But I do think people cry at different stages, and I don't share that because I don't want people to think there's something wrong with them if they're not crying. Because I also know a lot of people that just it takes a moment suddenly, sometime after, to suddenly open that up, doesn't it? Did you have one of those moments yourself where it hit you again that you had lost your brother?
It hit me a couple of days later. That was kind of like the first time I cried.
Yeah.
It was that when it actually happened. I was very numb for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And it's like the shock factor, isn't it? You just didn't expect that to happen. Like the day before he passed, he walked into the ambulance and he was perfectly fine, and but he was struggling to breathe and things like that, so that's why he went into hospital. I mean, I just expected him to get better, go in, get what he needed, from the hospital, and
come home. But did he not come home, basically?
Yeah, so much so that I didn't visit him when he was in hospital, because I was so it's like,
do you struggle with that, or did you struggle with the fact at that time that you hadn't done that?
Yeah, I'm forgiving myself now for it, but
hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it? And I think we the human brain so loves to use hindsight as a weapon to kind of beat ourselves up, don't you?
Definitely, yeah. And it's like, no, you couldn't have known.
No, definitely not. And I also think, I'm a big believer that we do choose the dynamics to some extent of how we pass. I hear so many stories, Jason. You could have gone in and been sat with him and then gone to the toilet. And in that moment you're in the toilet, having sat with him round the clock, the minute you're in the toilet, he goes. I hear so many stories of that, because people do actually want to pass alone up to a degree. They want you there, but in that final moment, a lot of spirit, a lot of people do want to pass on their own. So I'm going to say your brother engineered that at the subconscious, obviously, not consciously. He didn't know what he was doing.
We got the call, so he died in the night, and then they revived him and they brought him back, but he breathe on his own and things like that. So
yeah,
he would have been on a machine, if we hadn't made the decision. And
yeah, and that's a tough
yeah.
decision, isn't it, Jason? A really tough.
Well, you always think, what if you'd made the other decision? And
yeah, but it's right. I feel it's right what you chose. I don't feel anyone would want to spend the rest of their life on machines, feeling a burden, or do you know what I mean, or hard work.
There's no suicide pill, or, you know what I mean? They can't choose to pass and escape that once it's been chosen for them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And
so what are your views on these places where people go to die? They opt to die, I can't think what they call it. It's like suicide, but it's like organized medical, almost suicide. I can't think what it's called. What are your views on that then, Jason?
I think as long as they can decide, I think they should be able to.
Yeah.
And it's like when you don't let a pet suffer, you know what I mean?
No, this is it, isn't it?
It's like the decisions made, you know what I mean, to put them out of their misery and, out of their suffering. And
it's a strange one, isn't it? It's almost like the quality of an animal's life, end of life, seems to have more value than the quality of the end of a human's life. It's very strange, isn't it? It's almost not backwards, but it should all be, all souls, all beings are equal. It should be of an equal footing, I believe.
Yeah, so it's like a quite fine line between murdering someone and suicide, and it's like who decides what, and choosing to end someone's life before they may, and I think it's a bit of a grey area,
definitely.
But I hope to have more choice on it eventually, you don't know how great the afterlife is, or you probably do, but
I certainly do. But I've got no intention of going there anytime soon, just for the record.
Having talked to like spirits and things, and what they tell you, but in terms of wanting to get there, instead of not really much happening if you've got a life limiting disease or something.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
You're not able to live life to the full here, or you're just seeing a bed and that's it. And you get 1 or 2 communications a day, and things like that.
It's not life, is it? Really, it's not living. It's being alive, but it's not living, is how I would describe it.
Or I think loneliness is one the saddest things as well. And you're the last one left in your family, and I think you should be able to choose them as well.
Yeah, it's very difficult. It's very grey area, and I don't think, and thank you for talking about it as well, because I think it's important to start these conversations. I think we need to have these conversations in our society to take out that uncomfortability around the subject of death, around the subject of grief. And that's why I started to do these little podcasts again around this subject right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there was something that was said or something you experienced that was almost like a turning point for you in terms of grief? What shifted you from the anger and the upset to
I listened to a lot of
a little bit more comfortable? Pardon?
A lot of mediums, like one's on the telly, one's here. I went to a lot of medium shows and things, and readings, and they would give little bits of insights and what spirit feels, and in terms of how they see you, and and what they want for you. I kind of just put myself in my brother's shoes. What would he want me crying? Would he want me to stop living life just because he's passed? Would he want me to
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's sort of like I've still got a soul's mission here,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's almost like as horrible as it sounds, I've got to carry on with that, and
Yeah. No, I don't think it's horrible, Justin. I always say to people, I think we honor the dead by living. And they do kind of live through us. They experience the physical world through us. So, and like you said, those are such powerful thoughts when you realize that that person wouldn't want you in a depression or suicidal or to thinking you're going to join them or giving up on life, would they?
And I would argue with that in the beginning as well. I'd be like, well,
Yeah.
it's easy for him to say, and and I'd have like full-on conversations with what I think he would say, and then what I would say back. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he's not had to go through the losing of a brother. He's the one that's passed on.
Yes, that's what I always say as well. It's the ones left behind that suffer more, isn't it? In the end. Yeah. So how do you feel this grief has actually empowered you? What has it given you?
Well, he always wanted me to sing, and that's sort of like what's come out of it. If you know what I mean, I went straight into like musical theatre. Like I just got the part of the lion in The Wizard of Oz.
Amazing, yeah.
And then he passed not long after that. So I had the choice of kind of carrying on with that part or stepping back and letting someone else enter the role.
Yeah.
I chose to carry on and do the show, and I'm glad I did.
Good.
So it got me back into what I love, which is performing, and then the job doing kids' parties came out of it as well, and got back into acting and singing, and just then what I love from a young child. I've always been that, with life and getting a normal job, and all that kind of steers your way sometimes.
Yes, definitely.
So it's nice to kind of, he always used to say, why aren't you a singer? Because you just heard me all around the house and things like that. I'm annoyed.
So another one. So your brother's passing has pushed you over to live a life more worth living.
I just think 29 is no age to go, and you never know when your time is. So.
No, it's very true. Very true.
It's just time to get on with what you're here to do.
So
in that way, it's turned it to power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gives me that fire in my belly.
Yeah. Wonderful.
To really push on and fulfill my mission, because imagine how many regrets he has, and I don't want that for myself as much as possible.
No, this is it, isn't it? So obviously you're singing. So if people listening to this wanted to hear you sing, how can they connect with you? What's your socials, Jason?
My social is just Jason Borman. I've got like a entertainment vocalist page. It's just my name and then entertainment vocalist. So I post all my upcoming gigs and things on that page. And follow me on Facebook is the best place to reach me.
Thank you. Well, it's been wonderful to chat. Thank you for being so honest and raw. We love you for that. And go and enjoy the singing.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been a joy. Thank you so much.
Cheers. Thank you.